Hello, everyone, and welcome to Module 3. My name is Viji Davis, and I'm going to be taking you through this module. And by the end of this module, you're going to be able to define campaign goals and business objectives, align metrics with campaign goals and business objectives, develop a measurement plan for how you're going to generate the metrics, and then finally identify the necessary data sources to support the measurement plan. So with that, let's get started with the first part of it, which is common challenges, defining campaign goals and business objectives. Before we can jump into how we would define campaign goals and business objectives, to understand what's happening in the marketplace and what brands, marketers, advertisers are faced with. And a common challenge in today's day and age is that the average person is exposed to anywhere between 6 to 10,000 ads per day. So if we pause and think about that, that is a lot of ads per day. Think about the last time you were looking for something online and how many ads were coming at you. Every engagement that you've had, whether you're driving or commuting, to school or somewhere else, you may see ads on a billboard, for example. It doesn't mean that we as consumers pay attention to every single one of these ads. There's just way too many of them. And there was actually a study done by Google where they tried to solve that, where they said, okay, you know what, when a person gets exposed to an ad, how do you get them to pay attention? What actually matters to them? And then what makes them engage and make a conversion or a purchase. And they went through all of this research, and what they ended up finding out, this is actually the image on here is a sticky note that they ended up with, which is we just don't know. There's too much happening. All we know is that there are 2 points, the point at which you begin your journey, and then the point at the end where you convert. And the rest of it, that mixed bag of noodles in the middle, is what Google calls the messy middle. And when we think about that, this creates some really big challenges in the marketplace because there's so many changes that happen all the time, that it's hard to track data and convert them to insights, because oftentimes what we end up tracking is not accurate, which ends up becoming less ability to track with the growth of privacy and regulatory governance and market around data and data sharing. So then your ability to get down to the nitty-gritty details of what's occurring before a purchase doesn't end up being as granular, which ultimately results in not true actionability of the data that gets captured. And when we think about this as consumers, even if a brand can say, hey, you know what, my target consumer is like this woman who's got some really amazing hair, but she needs to get conditioner, Pantene conditioner, for example, is the brand. It doesn't really get to the heart of how she gets to buying Pantene, because we as consumers have different touch points, even for repeat purchases. Let's say your conditioner is only Pantene shampoo, Pantene conditioner, Miracle Rescue every single time. You're still going to take different paths. And so what this means is which path makes the most sense, which ads resonate for you to remind you, hey, you're low on Pantene Miracle Rescue, you need to go get some more. And it becomes even more of a consistent challenge when we're evaluating these marketing channels, because you get the point of awareness as a consumer to say, hey, you know what, I need my conditioner. You intend to buy Pantene Miracle Rescue, and then you decide to make a purchase, sometimes on a whim, sometimes it's planned. And every marketer uses all of these different types of channels to reach their target consumer or audience. And what you can see with each of these channels is that the way that they are measured and the KPIs that get produced from that measurement within that channel, they're all different. So for example, with linear TV, all the way on the left-hand side, you can see that the measurement and the KPIs that get tracked are GRPs or exposure rates. And as we go towards the right of the spectrum, some of them come up again, but then all of a sudden there's different ones for advanced TV, views and subscriptions, display, reach and frequency, social, likes and shares, website, unique, time on site, and then in store, traffic and sales. And so all these channels are expected to work together because the consumer is looking at all these ads, but the way that we measure that is disparate. And the depth of tools that are available for measurement are all disparate. So, linear TV or your traditional TV is typically not really looking at sales and conversion rate. Not at all like how deep you can get in with search, websites, or e-commerce, for example. And so it's really tough to align these campaign goals and business objectives across an omni-channel strategy. Yet the business goals and objectives still ladder into these three key fundamental areas of a sales funnel across awareness, intent, and purchase. So again, first getting your target audiences or potential buyers to become aware of your product or service, convert them into wanting to buy your product or service compared to the competition, and then actually going through and making the purchase. And so next, we will chat on what we are measuring